of experience in the automotive industry. He is currently the Chief Commercial Officer of KARSAN since 2020, and KARSAN is a Turkish commercial vehicle manufacturer, and I'm very happy to introduce him, and the floor is yours.
Hi everybody, I'm really happy to be here, and all the flights were really packed going back to Turkey because there's a national state voting, hopefully, so I gotta do my responsibility as a citizen. So thanks for the commission to make this change available. So today I will be talking about autonomous buses, and actually there are a lot of problems that our world has been experiencing, and we are trying to address some of these problems. I'm not going to go over those problems a lot because everybody in this room well aware known about what those problems are. Rather than talking about them, I'll try to give some examples about how, as KARSAN, we have a solution for those problems that we have been experiencing. So I want to, of course, I don't want to talk about elevator operators or switchboard operators, but I want to start with a small story. I think elevator operators dates back as old as the innovation of the first lifts, right? So there used to be elevator operators working in the big buildings or tall buildings, and one day they went on a strike in New York City, and people didn't know how to get to the top floor, so everybody got stuck at the bottom floor. Or I don't think any one of us remembers switchboard operators day. I'm sorry, some of us may remember, I'm not sure. But to connect the calls, those people are not around. So I think when I have a son, 10 years old, right? When I tell him about elevators used to have a driver, he thinks I'm kidding. He doesn't really believe me. I think he's the last generation, or probably he'll tell his son about bus drivers, and his son will be laughing at him probably. That's going to change that fast. So today, I will try to give you some case studies that we have deployed in North America and in Europe as a real bus autonomous. So let me start real quick. Well, these global warming things, we know how bad that is, and again, since everybody in this room is very well aware of the situation, I'm not going to go into the details, but it's real, it's happening. We have to go, we have to find a solution. One of the other big problem that our world is experiencing is urbanization. The problem is right now we have, I think, a little over 7 billion people on the face of the earth, and it's assumed that by 2050s it's going to be 11. And 11 million, by then 7 billion out of that 11 will be living in the cities. It's assumed that there will be more than 200 cities with more than 10 million population in the world. So that's a big problem. Again, population increase is also going to additionally increase the urbanization. But there is another thing, it's like a contrast, but it does happen, which is suburbanization, because some of us who can afford to go outskirts of the cities to get rid of the crowded cities, but in return this increases the mobility demand. The mobility increases, but less living spaces. I mean, I'm staying at a different hotel, which is just like 30 minutes walk distance here. I'm having really a hard time to get here, even just because of the bikes. Bike is maybe one of the best friendly way of transportation, but still, interestingly, maybe I'm not used to it. I mean, please don't get me wrong, for the people living in the city, I fully show respect. People trying to go to work with using with leaving no carbon footprint is really appreciated. But still there's a problem, right? I mean, it is really a problem, and we need more living space. We have to create more living space. So all in all, it creates a lot of traffic. So having a lot of traffic, actually, on one side we see that as a carbon footprint, or leaving less space for people. But there's another thing that maybe we're not discussing. According to World Health Organization, on top of my head, I think like 89.5% of the car accidents happening because of the driver fault. So that's really a huge problem. And once we are trying to solve a problem, I think we have to address all possible concerns. So that's why decreasing the traffic will not only help to have green cities with more space, but also we have to get rid of this, casualties if we can. So what is the solution? I mean, I really wanted to, skip those slides really fast because, again, everybody's fully aware of it. So first we have to create a less space for mobility. You can see on the slides, and there's actually 50 cars in that slide, and how crowded that looks, and the bikes or the scooters versus buses. So regardless of bus being diesel or whatever the sort of the powertrain fuel source, using bus is really helps, solves a lot of things. But what kind of bus? Should that be diesel, or it should be seamless? I mean, that's why we believe it should be electric or some sort of clean energy, let me say, because it could be fuel cell or whatever. But it also needs to be autonomous as well, right? Because once we have a driverless bus, we will be solving most of the other problems that our cities are experiencing. I'll tell you more about how we are experiencing that, how we are implementing that solution into the market. So our proposal to solve all these problems, or address as much as we can, by using autonomous buses. Because if we use electric scooters, or if we use electric cars, or even electric robo shuttles, like a small bus type of things that carries few people around. So if we put, I don't know, like hundreds of them, still some of the problems we will keep experiencing, because people need more space. Population is increasing. It's right out there. People are coming to the cities and need more and more demand of the transportation. But the autonomous concerns are really big nowadays. We know. I mean, safety, the maintenance of the roads, the precision mapping, the regulations, and liability. They're who's liable when there's a risk. But for the bus, I think we have the bus application is one of the easiest, I believe, because first we know where the bus is gonna go every day. It's under short leash, if I will say. It comes back home every night, and exactly which route the bus is gonna go, which stops it's gonna stay. So that's why some of these safety and regulations and maintenance of the roads, or precision mapping, to solve those kind of things are easier comparing to normal passenger cars, that you may go from any point A to any point B, but with the bus it's more under control. Now I will be giving some examples about our use case studies, because when we talk about things, usually we refer to that we will do that in the future. But right now I'm showing you something real. This bus that right now you're seeing is at the Michigan State University. It's a real public road. It's a 5-kilometer route, and it has been carrying passengers last 1.5 years. It has almost reached the end of its project lifetime, but that bus was able to take permission from National Highway Safety Transmission Administration, from the Department of Transportation in the United States. They have a long fancy names. So we have been using this bus. It had only one accident, and one of the passenger car hit this bus from behind. So it wasn't like our bus, but someone did. And that was I think as a historically in the United States, is the first autonomous bus crash. This bus, we are doing a lot of experience with this bus and the academic personnel of Michigan State University because we want to see how senior citizens react when the bus pulls over without a driver. Actually, this bus has a driver sitting in the driver's seat, but as a safety driver, he's not touching anything. But when we say the passengers that this bus is driverless, I mean, normally something that you wouldn't pay attention if you get in the bus. You don't really care if driver is, doing the right things, right maneuvers, keeping the, hands on the wheels. You don't pay attention. But when you say everybody that this bus is driverless, they try to see, what's going on, and we keep monitoring all the passengers' reactions and try to make some analysis about ridership psychology as well. And what we have also seen with this bus is, I think, one of the earlier conversation here mentioned about the efficiency. I think efficiency is really, really a big issue. And for the same electric bus, if we let one of the best, most experienced drivers drive the bus versus autonomous driving is around 18% less, more fuel efficient. Because the bus can talk with the the traffic lights, because it makes the best deceleration and acceleration for the driver comfort and fuel consumption. From this bus, we have learned a lot, and another project that we have done is it was the Europe's first self-driving bus with passengers. It has been carrying ticketed passengers for last, I believe it's been more than 5 months or maybe 6. It's in the city of Stavanger, Norway. So we have a dedicated route. It's again, public road. It is one of the standard route of the Stavanger, and now this bus has a special permission from the city authorities, and even I think the Department of Transportation Minister also joined our launch back then. With this bus, we have been carrying in the first week, I think we carried, or in the first month, I'm sorry, I don't really remember, but we carried more than 6,000 people in a really short period of time. That because what I tell this number is why I tell this number. There are a lot of autonomous shuttles or autonomous vehicles out there, but this is a real bus, with the real air conditioning, real heating, real seats, the real bus. It's not like a no disrespect to all the studies, because all the studies are important and contributing to our bus transportation community. But like a small box with 4 wheels and a joystick, I don't consider that as a bus, and it won't really be solving some of the problems that I mentioned earlier. With those, we have also some another examples that I'm not showing them here, but we have 2 buses running in Turkey, one of them at the President Palace, the other one is in the Istanbul Technical University. We have a project in Israel and 2 projects in Spain right now. Also, we are developing on-demand projects, and also platooning we have been working. So depending on the different needs of the city, and this bus is 8 meter, by the way. I mean, I didn't. This presentation is not about introducing our company, so that's why I didn't put any slide about who we are and what we do. But we are a bus manufacturer, and we produce buses from 6 meter all the way up to 18, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 18. We have electric and fuel cell buses. We also manufacture cars for company or heavy medium, or we build trucks. The companies like Renault, Peugeot, Hyundai, so many different worldwide companies. We produce their vehicles in Turkey. We're located based in Turkey. So right now we are delivering our buses all the way from North America to Japan and in Europe as well. We have deployed 96% of the Turkish electric bus export. We put more than 600 buses on the field so far, electric bus. And we have consolidated kilometer mileage more than 10 million, I assume. So, having said all of these, we have the technology ready, and we have been working with some different authorities in North America, Europe, and Asia. Asia meaning Dubai, Qatar, and Israel. So we have some projects. Just wanted to explain here that once we convert all our transportation autonomous and electric, I think we will be addressing most of these problems, and we are happy to be part of that solution. Thanks for listening to me. Again, that was the end of my slides. Because I have to leave earlier, I really apologize. Gotta catch the flight. So if there's any questions, you can. I would love to answer now. If not, you can reach me through. I think we have the names and LinkedIn or some other social medias. We can. I would be happy to respond to your questions, or if anybody wants to have some more information, deep dive information, more than welcome. Feel free to reach out to me. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Deniz. I would say that we have a short Q&A now. Do you have any burning questions about this presentation, about the work that KARSAN does? Yeah,
This works.
Thanks, Deniz. Yeah, I have read, I must admit, a little bit about all obviously the shuttles we see, and I think the reference to the PlayStation controller was quite apt. But just in terms of the vehicle you're showing, particularly the one in Norway, you mentioned it's on public roads, but it seemed to be going relatively slowly, and I'm just wondering, is there any particular sort of limitations imposed on the permissions that you have to operate?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a good question. This is right now we're limited that with, of course, plus 10% difference. It's 25 kilometers per hour right now on the public road. But our tests we are doing is little over 50 right now. So we can do the whole thing as 50, but that bus specifically in the city of Stavanger, the city administration wanted to have 25 as a limiter. So that's why it's slow.
any other question back here? And after this question, I would move.
Good morning, David Barnett from Translink. Great presentation. One question I have for you is, in the past I've seen some of the, shall we say, those smaller autonomous shuttles complete with PlayStation controller. But whenever we looked behind the scenes, there was a control centre filled with teams of people just to make this one shuttle actually work, therefore limiting how scalable it actually was. Does your product need that same control centre and that same back office resource to make it work, or can that actually be deployed in scale to a transport operator?
We don't need back support central center. We have a special design team, R&D team, and we are doing this bus in cooperation with two different university and one institute in San Francisco. Also our R&D center. So if you want, for example, if we put one of that bus in your fleet, you won't need a back support office full of engineers. But within the bus, we still have a the actual safety driver can handle everything which is required for the bus. Because on our case, our position mapping, we believe, is where our IP creates the biggest advantage. So the simple answer to your question is no, but that's a great technical question. If you would like to get more information, we can discuss later and deep dive into because I have a lot to say, but I don't want to take up the time of other speakers.
Teşekkür ederiz. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Applause for you.
Thank you so much.
Next up is Dimitri Konstantas. You are a professor at the Geneva School of Economics and Management, and you